bitches go.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Yo, Tyson Fury has not responded to the pig farmer's allegations, but I found something funny. He's in the same location, in the same town, in the same area as the pig farmer, according to his location. Oh my gosh. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Now sign up for ESPN Plus below using my link. It does help the channel grow. When you guys click on that link, subscribe to ESPN Plus. It's a standalone app, great app with a lot of different content on it for all your sports needs, or you can bundle it with Hulu, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus, all three apps for one price of $12.99 a month. Now, this news that shook the game up, you know, we were already dealing with Tyson Fury Glovegate. You heard this pig farmer come out and basically poke holes in the alibi of Tyson Fury. He said he was owed money, he was willing to commit perjury, and he got basically conned into, you know, accepting a bribe and going along with the story that never happened, right? And, you know, this is funny. I was waiting for Tyson Fury to say something. Frank Warren rubbished the claims, of course, but he wasn't. I don't really take that as serious because he wasn't even managing Tyson Fury's career at the point in which any of this is said to have taken place. So I've been waiting for Tyson Fury to say something publicly, address these allegations, you know, because these are pretty serious, and they say UCAD is going to investigate. And I was waiting, and this is all that Tyson Fury posted. So he just posted this, and he limited the comments, as you guys can see. Comments on this post have been limited, so not the average person can comment, right? And it was a cryptic message, and I started paying attention because, you know, we're following this closely, new media, Young Forensic Files, right? And this is what he said, the Gypsy King, on his verified page. We was doing a half marathon today, but got canceled for obvious reasons. But we gonna do a half marathon at home, Batman and Robin, ha ha ha, emoji. And then he tagged Top Rank and a bunch of people. And he put this at the end. Don't fear, we coming, ... So I'm like, what is that? Like, what does that even, like, what does any of this mean? Like, you know, what was the point of posting this? And it says, don't fear, we coming, ... It almost sounded like a threat when I read that. I was like, what the hell? What is it? You know, what does that mean? Don't fear, we coming. You know, you're dressed like a superhero, like, you know, like you're about to clean up the streets or something. So I was like, whatever. But then I looked at the tag, you know, the great thing about social media, and it says Lancashire. And I'm like, wait a minute, where do I know that? Because I told you I used to live in the UK, but I lived somewhere different. I live in Suffolk. I lived in the Lakenheath, right? And this is many, many years ago. So I'm not from Lancashire, right? So I'm like, man, that sounds familiar. And then I'm like, man, that's where the pig farmer's from, right? Because that's how they referenced him. The Daily Mail dropped this bombshell. Look. And look. Hold on. They got all these pop-ups. You see that? It says, the Lancashire pig farmer who could knock out Tyson Fury. Witness, age 70, sensationally withdraws evidence that helped to clear the world champion of drug cheat. Right? And throughout the couple articles that were written about this farmer, here's a picture of him, you know, they reference where he was from. Right? So they said, I think they said he's semi-retired, but he former butcher, has a store, things of that sort, but from this area, right? So I'm like, okay, let's add this up. So the pig farmer who's accusing Fury of this is from Lancashire. Tyson Fury just posted this and he tagged that he's where? Lancashire. And he says, "Don't fear, we coming, ... So it's almost like it was like a cryptic message for somebody. So I looked up, his name is Martin CAREFOOT. CAREFOOT Farm Shop, Longridge, Lancashire. You guys see that? That's the county they're in. That's the town they're in, right? So he's in the exact proximity of this guy who's saying that he was brought into this madness and he covered for him and he was supposed to get compensated and he didn't. And he's like, the truth must come out, you know? And I just thought this was odd with that. He said he wrote a statement saying, quote, "I supplied one fully butchered wild boar pig to Team Fury generally every 3 to 6 weeks," Mr. CAREFOOT claimed in his statement. Although some customers would only want specific cuts, Team Fury were keen to utilize the whole animal, including the liver, kidney, and other offal. Right? So he has copies of this, and Frank Warren dismissed it, but he didn't really explain how he knows this guy is lying. The WBC dismissed it, but didn't really explain. They said, how can we trust a guy who's an admitted liar? But if you don't trust him, then that means you don't think his story is true. So how is he an admitted liar if he, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Either you think his story of coming forth now and ratting on Tyson Fury because he didn't get paid and he feels guilty, you know, is true, or you don't. But you can't say he's a liar, you know, just like Frank Warren and the WBC did, and say his story is untrue and unfounded and, you know, this falsehood. But then you're labeling him the liar, which would imply that you believe his story is true. Because you said, how could, they're saying stuff like the WBC and Frank Warren, they're saying stuff to the effect of, how could we believe him? He's a liar. He already told you he was willing to commit perjury. But you're telling me that this whole situation is felonious and he made it all up. You know, here's Frank Warren exactly. "These allegations are totally unfounded and libellous. You are dealing with a man who is an admitted liar. But if you don't believe his story, then how is he a liar if the story is not true? Did Tyson ever have a conversation with this man? Irrelevant. He never said Tyson Fury directly was the one person. He said Team Fury. He vouched for Team Fury. So whoever concocted the plan or set it up, serious implications. Which supposed member of Fury's team did have a conversation with this man? Irrelevant. He has statements. You are relying on the word of a liar. So they keep stressing that this guy is a liar, but then you're saying his story is not true. You see what I'm saying? So if what he's claiming, the 25,000 pound is owed to him and stuff like that, did he lie back then or is he lying now? This man who was willing to commit perjury, once again, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Unless you believe his story, then he wasn't willing to commit perjury. And then if you do believe his story, then he's already disclosed and acknowledged that he was willing to lie and he got tied up in this mess. And he's already taken the blame for that and says he feels guilty. Plus, he didn't get paid for it. So he's already admitted, you know, this 70-year-old man, like, he don't look to me, you know, I know looks can be deceiving, but he don't look like somebody that would just get on the gram and start clout chasing. Like, he looks like Graham, you know what I'm saying? He looked like an older Gam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he looks like an older person. So it don't look like he'd be on the gram. It looked like he'd be dating Graham. Bars. You know, it doesn't look like a type of person that would clout chase if you know, if we're just being honest. He looks like a, you know, just an everyday, you know, businessman and person, a farmer, you know. So I think it's mighty coincidental that Tyson Fury is in Lancashire literally a day after these allegations broke, and the farmer is from Lancashire. This is just getting really weird to me. So you're in the same proximity of this dude. And then you look at Lancaster, Lancashire, the population, it's not even that big of a population in comparatively speaking. this particular place. So out of all places in England, Tyson Fury's in Lancashire, which has a population of 138,375, which, you know, you look at a city like LA, Los Angeles, or San Diego or San Francisco, blows that out the water, you know? So you're in this small town, which happens to be a day after this pig farmer called you out, and that's where you happen to be. Now, Tyson Fury, look where he was born. Manchester, Lancashire, UK. So the guy claiming this is from kind of your old stomping grounds in that particular area that you say that you're at according to your tag. And you says, "Don't fear, we coming." Now I looked at several other, we're doing real forensic posts. We're doing real forensic work. I looked at other posts and he said he's in Europe, London. You see these other posts, Morecambe, Europe, London. Look, like just generic Europe, London. So it's like, this is getting really weird. The guy called you out in literally a day. Look, some of the posts don't have posts, and then he was in Vegas for here. So I start going through his posts, and even when he was in the UK, I'm struggling to find one where he was in that specific, like his old stomping ground. Even let's try to find a UK post and look it up. Maybe he's in the UK here. Nah, that's in Vegas. I gotta pick something that looks like the UK. I just thought that was really weird. Like, look, okay, so he's at LA. Where's he at here? Look, I'm looking at all these tags. We leaving no stone unturned with this. Let's see. Let's check this. See, London, United Kingdom. So I'm looking through all his posts, and that's the great thing with these geo tags. Blackpool, look, Europe, London. I'm trying to find where he was in that specific area. So I just think that's extremely weird that he says, "Don't fear, we're coming," and all. It looks like almost like a subliminal message, Look, I'm picking several posts. They either have no geolocation or all the ones where he was in the UK. I just feel that's extremely weird, to be honest, that a day after this happened, that's where you, out of all places in the UK, you go back to, your home state where this pig farmer lives not too far. So I don't really trust none of this stuff. I don't trust none of this because, like, now if like the man all of a sudden starts changing his story again, then it's really going to seem like some shady business. Like you finally came up and coughed up the money and paid him, because ain't nobody going to change their story that many times. So you're in the proximity of him, in reach out distance. You got all this money from the Wilder fights. So I can't wait to see what happens next, because if it seems like some BS, like the guy all of a sudden comes out and says, "Oh, hey, I was just kidding," then I'm going to suspect something like foul, because just explain this. A 70-year-old man testifies, writes written legal statements, right? And then says he was owed money and he accepted a bribe, never got the bribe, and he feels used and abused, and he feels guilty that he let it ride. A day after it happens, Tyson Fury is in his old stomping grounds, and he's dressed like Batman, not speaking to any of these things. And he's in the same, county as this guy's shop, right? As this Lancashire pig farmer by CAREFOOT farm shop, right? That just seems all too coincidental. So you like this farmer, there sounds like there's some truth to it. And now if the 70-year-old man all of a sudden, after doing all this and submitting statements and to the Daily Mail, all of a sudden he backtracks, then I really feel like something shady happened. Just like when Dillian White fell with the Diana Ball, and then he was scheduled to fight, and then the day before his fight in Saudi Arabia on the Joshua Ruiz card, right? He comes out and said, "Oh, the UCAT said, oh, we're clearing him of all charges." Something underhanded is being done. If that happens, if he now changes his story again or something like that, conveniently when Tyson Fury is in his vicinity talking about we are coming. You know, this is looking super crazy, almost like a movie or something. You know, it's looking real crazy. And my other question that I posed when I heard this story initially is this Lancashire farmer, right? 70-year-old white male. He's coming out and says, I'm coming clean. This is what happened. Blah, blah, blah. I feel guilty. I feel stiffed. You know, I didn't get the money, which is what happened in the movie War Dogs, which I talked about earlier. And if they don't, okay, so I've already proven that Tyson Fury is from Lancaster or Lancashire, you know, so he's from a proximity of the person. And then I even looked at, like, we're looking up everything. Look, Lancaster, CAREFOOT. So this is his actual farm, or at least the shop to his farm. And let's get directions. See, this is beautiful. So I don't know exactly where Tyson Fury is other than Lancaster, United Kingdom. So I have to use that generic because obviously a celebrity boxer is not going to put their exact location and address, you know. But look, a simple Google search says, you know, the basic location of Lancaster or the, you know, county limits or whatever. That's a 38-minute drive. It's a 25. It's not that big of a place, right? So Fury can get to this person in 40 minutes and he talking about we are coming. And he said nothing. This looks really suspicious. It looks really suspicious. So I've already proven that the pig farmer is in your natural proximity or comfort zone, you know, based on where you were born and where you're at right now. You know, he's within reach out touching distance. You see what I'm saying? So somebody got to explain to me why the farmer would at age 70 just now be coming out and saying, hey, I falsified official documents. Here's the whole setup and here's the scheme. And then a day later, Tyson Fury happens, out of all the places, he could be in Bolton, London, you know, out of all places, he's talking about we're coming a day later and he's back in this it's just looking crazy, looking real crazy. So Frank Warren's like, oh, this guy's delirious, you know, trying to make him, oh, he's an admitted liar. But guess what? Why is his name on paperwork if nobody knows him? So listen to what the WBC and listen to what Frank Warren said. These allegations are totally unfounded and libellous, despite Frank Warren not working with Tyson Fury at that portion of his career when all this was going on, right? He says, who was the front man? Like, did Tyson have a conversation? Why would you even, okay, just listen to it. Listen, you got to listen to how people speak. He said the allegations are totally unfounded and libellous. He says, you're dealing with the man who's an admitted liar. So yeah, let's stain his name and make the 70-year-old look like he's lying beyond what he's already acknowledged publicly to be the lie. Then he says, did Tyson have a conversation with this man? Which supposed member had a conversation? Why would you be asking questions if the whole shit is bullshit? See, this don't sound right to me. You're saying, oh, he's a liar. This is unfounded. It's untrue. Even though I wasn't there, you know, you're going to tell this guy and Tyson Fury's team and legal representation at a timepiece you weren't even involved in his career. You're saying it's totally unfounded. You're doing the statement instead of Tyson Fury, and you're saying it's totally false. Then why are you asking questions like, oh, okay, who did he have a conversation with? It wasn't Tyson Fury. So it sounds like you're denying it and denouncing it and trying to debunk it without really debunking it. And you're saying, oh, but this guy's a liar. So how could we believe him? He's a liar. He was willing to commit perjury. But I thought you didn't believe his story at all. So he wasn't willing to commit perjury. So something's up, and this looks bad. This looks shady. It looks seedy. And that's just what it is. How is this 70-year-old white male's name on paperwork with statements that help to clear Fury's name, or at least get UCAD to back off because his alibi was at least solid enough when the guy was writing statements? Because why would UCAD, if a 70-year-old innocent looking man, you know, and I know you can't judge a book by its cover, but to me, he looks innocent. Like if I just seen him at the grocery store, I wouldn't think he's no mobster or murderer or something. He's just like a innocent farmer, and he's giving you his word, and he's now telling you he doesn't, his word, you know, he did it for a specific reason, to help a friend with a favor who, you know, came to him and helped Team Fury, right? UCAT, I could see why they would stand down. So a lot of people are saying, oh, but he already served a ban. No, he served a backdated ban, right? A backdated ban, because they just decided to settle because they weren't going to go against the evidence of trying to prove it when you had a statement from a 70-year-old man who looked to be, you know, an everyday working class man. They didn't have no dirt on him or any reason at the time to suspect that he was lying, and they'd already drug out for 2 years. So they just said, whatever, this last 2 years was yours. You know, we're not going to fight it anymore. But if this dude that never got paid, that's saying he never got paid, you know, CAREFOOT, if he didn't get involved and put his credibility and his, you know, reputation, his farmhouse on the line, then who knows what would have happened with the case. Then they might have pushed the issue, because then Tyson Fury would not, and Hughie Fury would not be able to explain the nandrolone, the nanodrone, or whatever the shit's called, in their system. You see what I'm saying? So people saying, oh, he already dealt with this. No, he hasn't. He dealt with this under the pretense that this man was telling the truth, which he's now saying he's not telling the truth, and he wasn't telling the truth. This needs to be seriously investigated. In the description is UCAD's Twitter, and we need to follow up. Everybody tweet and make sure they follow up with this, because this whole business looks really, he said, in fact, I never even had no boars. So if he comes out and says, oh yeah, surprise, I had some boars, I supplied them with the boars, then this is shady business. You know, this is definitely shady business. If he comes, because he already expressed, they didn't pay me. Frank Warren said this guy came to him and he said, just take it up with UCAD. Maybe they thought he was going to they called his bluff or whatever. He wasn't going to do nothing. And then now he did it. So, man, if all of a sudden this goes silent, then you know what it is. There's some foul play involved, you know? And me personally, I don't trust none of it. Like, in terms of Tyson Fury's talking about, don't fear, we coming, ... And you in his backyard, basically. Crazy stuff. This is like a drama movie. Let me know what you guys think. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.